I'm talking today about a forthcoming book, a book some have proposed we could call butterfly porn or butterfly junk, but instead we're calling it Fine Lines. The book will include 160 of Vladimir Nabokov's scientific and creative butterfly drawings. The book is co-edited by me and Dr. Kurt Johnson at lower left, one of the first lepidopterists who, in the 1980s and 90s, followed up on Nabokov's scientific labors from the 1940s. He and his colleagues proved that Nabokov's science was valid and highly significant. Nabokov began his professional research career in 1941, and his early ambitions focused on the discovery of new species. This image shows his first such discovery, commemorated by a poem. The poem mentions the red label with the preserved type specimen. Unfortunately, that discovery was later debunked, but Nabokov identified many more species over the next 8 years. The Karner blue he identified as a subspecies, but it was recently promoted to full species status by a group including Jim Fordyce of UT's EEB department. To make his distinctions, Nabokov turned to the microscopic anatomy of butterfly genitalia. There, he found an incredible world of inner space, with never-before-seen shapes and structures that could be used to establish boundaries of genera and species. Comparing structures across many genera, ranging from Asia to South America, Nabokov saw each one as a window onto the evolution of forms. Hypothesizing which shapes were more archaic, he thought of this study as a kind of time travel. He created analogies between the graded similarities among groups of butterflies and the group's evolutionary history. He invented what he called magic triangles for exploring the precise ratios of crucially evolving parts. He imagined evolution on the move. He counted and compared the tiniest elements of minute organs. He devised a method for mapping the location of each individual scale on a butterfly's wing. The picture at right shows a comparison of 12 sections of wing, each with hundreds of pixel-like scales. Nabokov discovered one previously unknown organ in butterfly anatomy, a part of genitalia he called the sagum, circled at center. This feature helped him to reorganize the classification of several genera of South American blue butterflies. The other red circles show his new species and new genus markings. Can you find the pictures of roast chicken, a caterpillar's head, and an elephant inside of a butterfly's genitalia? These are Nabokovian examples of nature's practical jokes. Always sensitive to the comic and the witty, he once wrote that mimicry embodies nature's rhymes. Nabokov's most important hypothesis argued that several superficially similar groups of butterflies actually migrated from Asia to South America in 5 distinct waves spread over 10 million years. His guess was recently confirmed through DNA analysis at Harvard University. What does all of this have to do with Nabokov's art? How do his scientific and literary passions enlighten one another? There's more to it than the fact that he invented imaginary species and drew them lovingly in the books he gave to his wife and to others. As I've mentioned, Nabokov was fascinated by nature's finest levels of detail. The same was true in his writing. Just as insect anatomy reveals an almost endless parade of minute structures, Nabokov began to include multiple invisible forms and details in his verbal creations. And just as he found that the morphology of some New World butterflies looked like allusions to much more archaic forms, he began to create networks of hidden allusions within his works, linking them secretly to texts from the distant past. Some details tell us about character. In Lolita, Humbert doesn't notice the trees at Joyce Kilmer Forest. He mistakes hawk moths for hummingbirds, and he keeps seeing chestnut trees where there shouldn't be any. The Diana butterfly also plays a hidden, important role in the novel. Pale Fire had part of its inspiration here in East Tennessee at the Chimney Tops Nature Trail, where Nabokov caught his first ever West Virginia white butterfly specimens. These are an important character in the novel. The red admiral butterfly and the parasitic botfly also play key hidden roles. He also constructed his novels like time machines, and if one learns the hidden markers, one can travel across the centuries within a single moment of present tense text. Lolita, Light of My Life, a very famous first line, links directly to Philip Sidney's long poem Astrophel and Stella from 1580. Lolita also harks back to legends of Merlin and Francis Bacon, while Pale Fire encodes references to over a dozen far-flung precursors, from Arthurian and Swedish legends to Robert Browning, and a sprawling set of hidden and overt links to Shakespeare. Nabokov invented minute, barely visible structures, like a secret trail of reversed italics leading to King Charles of Zembla's crown jewels. You can see that the circled letter V and Oswin should be italicized on the left. The jewels are in the crown, circled at right on Pale Fire's original title page. For Nabokov, science and art were equally passion-inducing fields for the pursuit of knowledge. He told his Wellesley students that if they lovingly fingered the links in the chain of knowledge, whatever the subject, they would discover a road of inestimable happiness. Thank you.